What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. 10 weeks later, it just won't stop. The latest numbers are in for Bud Light, and they are not good, my friends. In fact, they continue to plummet. Quite frankly, contrary to all rational thought. You would think by now things would have ended at some point, plateaued at some point, but no, they have not. And on top of that, well, Garth Brooks is getting roasted and doubling down on being a moron, but people tell me he played at like Joe Biden's inauguration or Obama's inauguration or something like that. I don't know if that's true or not, but I suppose that would explain exactly why he is the way he is. So let's get into the news. Last day now. Like I said, last day to get your Father's Day gift boxes. We've already sold out of the customizable ones, but thankfully these two pre-builts are absolutely awesome. You can get them in whole bean or ground. Still get them in time for Father's Day. We'll be shipping them with 2-day shipping. This is it. For those of you who are sick of hearing about it, today's the last day you're going to have to hear about it. So that's a positive too. So, leave a like for that. The collapse just won't stop. 10 weeks later, Anheuser-Busch sales still cratering, down 27%. The historic, unprecedented self-sabotage at Anheuser-Busch at the hands of woke, underqualified, virtue-signaling idiots refuses to stop. 10 weeks after the attention-starved Dylan Mulvaney posted an April 1st video on his Instagram account to promote Bud Light, which was promptly led to a boycott by tens of millions of warm-blooded Americans and foreigners who have it up to here with the trans lobbying shoving itself down everyone's throat, both literally and metaphorically. Anheuser-Busch's InBev Bud Light brand continues to see a steepening volume decline, Citi reports, citing the latest weekly U.S. Nielsen data through June 3rd. According to Citi analyst Simon Hales, the weekly U.S. Nielsen data through the 3rd of June shows that Bud Light volume declines accelerated last week to 29.9%. Remember how I said 30%? Like 30% is our goal, friends? Right here. We're at the precipice of that. We are just 0.1% away. And by the way, if you haven't yet, make sure you leave a like on this video because this is your doing. This is, your hard work that is doing this. 29.9% versus 26.1% in the week ending May 27th, and sales worsened to 27% from 23.3%. On a relative share basis, volume was down as well in the previous week, and share value was down as well. Moreover, there continues to be a contagion to the wider AB InBev brand portfolio, with Budweiser, Busch, and Michelob all weaker again. According to Citi, Busch volumes are down 13.8% versus 12.12%. Stella Artois down 9.9% versus 10.1%. Meanwhile, Coors Light saw its recent market shares gain accelerate over the past few weeks. The latest data shows little sign consumers are moving on from the Bud Light controversy, and Citi concludes that as such, we expect Bud Light controversy is likely to continue to dominate news flow and weigh on short-term investor sentiment. Now, if we look at the Anheuser-Busch stock over the past 5 days, it has recovered. In fact, it's gone up 5%. It's still obviously down significantly over the past month, but the overall market has also been up pretty well over the past couple of days. So it's difficult to say. If investors also believe that this is finally bottomed out for them, then that would also kind of explain it. Maybe you have some more of these woke investment firms investing in it. It's difficult to know for 100% certainty. I'm not a stock market expert. Generally, when you look at, trends, they usually follow the wider market trend. In this case, with Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch, it was certainly, I think people are reinvesting now because they think it's bottomed out. So they think that there's value in the stock, so they're reinvesting. That certainly could be the case. And as I said, I don't think that, we were ever going to get past 30% as far as a a total fight back. But again, this report, as of this morning, Bud Light loses its title as America's top-selling beer. Modelo Especial, the Mexican lager brewed near Mexico City by Constellation Brands, became the top-selling beer in May, overthrowing Bud Light from its top spot it held for more than 20 years. The fall from the top further highlighted how much trouble the Anheuser-Busch brand is in following the influencer Dylan Mulvaney's Instagram post showing off the customized Bud Light can. For the 4 weeks ending June 3rd, Modelo captured 8.4% of the U.S. retail beer sales, while Bud Light falling to second place with 7.3%, according to NIQ data given to consulting firm Bump Williams. Dollar sales were equally grim for Bud Light in that period, with sales falling 24.4%, while Modelo grew 12.2%. That's a swing of 36.6%. The trend does not look to turn in Bud's favor. Modelo Especial appears to be increasing its sales growth each week as we get deeper into the summer, Williams told CNN. He added that the Modelo Oro, its new low-carb beer, is off to a strong start following its May debut, further bolstering the brand's sales. In recent years, drinkers have been switching their beer preferences to Mexican beers and spirits such as tequila and mezcal. Williams said that a number of factors contributed to Modelo becoming the top-selling beer, at least for May, including strong retailer support, great advertising, eye-catching packaging, and the springboard effect of Cinco de Mayo into the summer. Greg Gallagher, vice president of brand marketing for New York-based Constellation, told CNN that Modelo has been enjoying an incredible run of success for the past several years, and it wants to replicate dominance it has with Hispanic drinkers with more demographics. Well, sure. Who wouldn't want to do that? I mean, I think that it's also that people are switching from Bud Light to Modelo, but also remember that Modelo is also indirectly owned by InBev, or by InBev. It's just there was some antitrust stuff, so it's technically owned by Constellation Brands in the United States. But interestingly enough, this also unusual. Rails breaking Anheuser-Busch, InBev's Bud Light lost its top spot to the U.S. beer market to Constellation Brands' Modelo Especial. You can see it's interesting. Great news, but we can do better. I didn't drink Bud Light before nor after this fiasco. That beer just really sucks. Big win for us Modelo drinkers. If you look here, head of marketing in some hot water. This is 12 hours ago. What's happening over at InBev? Bud Light sales have tanked since April when their failed attempt to cross-market with social media influencer Dylan Mulvaney sparked an uproar among beer drinkers of America. Marketing department is so out of touch with their core consumer base. You see this sheet here, share of beer sales in U.S. retail stores. You see Bud Light absolutely cratering. It does kind of level off here in the last week. Meanwhile, you see sharp increases from both Coors Light and Miller's Light, and Modelo Especial also receiving a huge spike as well. I mean, I think that everything kind of broadened out over the past week, but then you have Garth Brooks speaking about the decision to sell Bud Light as his Nashville bar. I know this sounds corny, he told the crowd. I talked about this, the Chick-fil-A of honky-tonks. What? The Chick-fil-A of honky-tonks? You want it closed on Sundays? I don't really understand. And John Rich comments, if Garth is serving Bud Light in his bar, that's fine, Rich said. Garth can do that. Garth might find out not many people are going to order it, and at the end of the day, you have to put things in your establishment that people are going to purchase if you're going to run a successful business, so you might find that out. Brooks' comments caught the attention of Representative Matt Gaetz, who pointed out the Thunder Rolls singer's relationship with Trisha Yearwood. Quote, I'm sure glad we have Garth Brooks to tell us who is and who isn't an a-hole, he tweeted. Question though, does it make someone an a-hole if they cheat on their spouse, write a song about it with their paramour, then publish the duet with that very same paramour, or does it make for a good person, righteous in their moral preening? Quote, now delete every Garth Brooks song from my collection, never again, Garth, tweeted Robert Cornicelli, who lost the Republican primary to New York Representative Andrew Garabino last year. Supporters of the star weren't surprised at all due to his track record. Garth has been an advocate for civil rights for decades, tweeted one fan. Don't let him being a giant country music star fool you. He wrote about a civil rights anthem You know, I guess cool. You know, I think, you know, happy for Garth Brooks apparently. But I mean, you still have, you know, Bud Light got obliterated in latest sales data. Turns out teaming up with Dylan was very bad for business. AB AbBev is making a power play with bar owners. Nashville is one of the hit cities. Executives from AB met with real bar owners in Music City and struck a deal, gave major incentives to push Bud Light and other AB products. FYI, bars are owned by singers in name only. That's interesting that they're desperately doing, you know, according to this individual, that there is some sort of backroom deals going on to try and get more customers back. You know, I guess, you know, I think that people will eventually move on. Like, people have already kind of said their bit, you know. You see this, you know, trans activist who was banned from the White House going topless for blaming Bud Light, and targets boycotts for lack of business for all sane American calling all sane Americans bullies. Regular Americans of all races, creeds, and colors have toppled the king, displacing Bud Light as top-selling beer. I mean, this is interesting. You know, it's officially lost its title now. Here you go.
So this morning, after 2 decades, a new top-selling beer in the U.S. Mexican lager Modelo Especial was the top-selling beer last month, overthrowing Bud Light. There are a couple things at play here, including flat-out changing taste, but also the backlash from a social media post by transgender influencer Dylan.
Several things at play here. No. People literally just moved on. You know, people didn't want anything to do with it. And you have like, even there couldn't be a worse person to have, you know, utter your name than yet another annoying trans activist who just got banned from the White House. Everyone say a quick prayer for Rosa Montoya, the trans activist who was banned from the White House for freeing the nip. In a terrible turn of events, Montoya said the ongoing Bud Light and Target boycotts have made a dent in business. Quote, I've spoken to a lot of my trans friends and colleagues, and we've noticed less brands seeking partnerships and smaller budgets for pride campaigns, Montoya said. It's disappointing. Why? That you can't monetize this? That's interesting that that's what's most concerning for you. I'm disappointed to see brands caving to bullies when it comes to pride. I need to know if a company is doing good work in the world and actually showing up for our community. I'm very selective who I work with. Yeah, I know how you select who you work with. Who gives you the money? And I need to know a company's doing good in the world, not just profiting off of us. Girl, boy, whatever, you're profiting off of it. Shame on us for not supporting Bud Light after plastering Dylan Mulvaney on a can. Well, I can't wait to see how all this shakes out after June. This has been absolutely amazing. Remember, last day to get your Father's Day gift box from Coffee Brand Coffee. We've got 2 pre-built selections ready to go. Promo code DAD will save you 10%. We're shipping everything today to make sure you get it in time. So the shipping includes 2-day shipping now, and that's it. Then you won't have to hear me talk about Father's Day gift boxes for another year. I think that's worth a like. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.